Well, anything that discusses Denver South and our accomplishments out here is something that's very exciting to me. And it all starts with the fact that our family's first acquisition in the Denver South area was exactly 65 years ago. And I personally have been involved in Denver South and all of its predecessor organizations for about 40 years now. There's really few things in my life that I can actually look back on and take as much pride in as I do all the activities, accomplishments, and what has been achieved by hundreds and maybe even thousands of people here in Denver South. One thing that we all know is true in life, it's about the people. And this was all about the people. Through all of the efforts, I had the chance to meet some of the most amazing visionaries who formed what is now Denver South. But maybe that quintessential visionary, George Wallace, who not only conceived the Denver Tech Center, back when nobody even knew what technological was, he not only conceived the Denver Tech Center, he was such a visionary, but he was also the driving force behind what is now Centennial Airport. But then there was also John Madden at Greenwood Plaza, George Beardsley down at Inverness, among many others, including my dad, Walt Koelbel, who did make that purchase 65 years ago. So our family has been out here working, toiling, and enjoying the evolution of what's happened in Denver South for 65 years. And I think the other thing that's important about the people, not just those wonderful visionaries who created or started what Denver South is today, but it's all of the hundreds of people that really put together what is, I think, one of the quintessential public-private partnerships anywhere in the country. So this is elected officials, private citizens, developers, who all came together with a mission to know if we work together, we can get things accomplished that otherwise wouldn't happen. So again, it's all about the people, starting with the visionaries, and now all those elected officials and private citizens and the succession of developers and property owners have made this all work. If you think about it, cities and regions originally, 100 years ago, were formed by the natural corridors, which was water. So that's the rivers and the oceans. But then over time, vehicular transportation became ultimately maybe the main source that shaped cities and regions. With this, there's all forms of mobility, but that became the key to the ultimate success out here in Denver South, because we understood that it was the transportation vehicular corridors that would either make or break this wonderful place. And I'll just recount some of the accomplishments that I personally have watched over this entire time. 8 freeway interchanges. Only a few were here, most of them were new. 2 freeway overpasses at Union and Yosemite. I personally was co-chair of the committee that raised the money that created what is now the T-Rex light rail system. So now we have light rail. That's a part of that evolution of the mobility that's so effective out here in the corridor. We had widening efforts that continued to widen the freeway. And I would tell you all of this, public-private partnership, without us on the private side and the public side, we matched federal dollars and state dollars to what is now over $2 billion of improvements up and down the I-25, the South I-25 corridor. So you think about that, that's an enormous accomplishment, again, with all those people. I would tell you this, I've traveled enough and I'm involved in national real estate organizations. This really is a showcase and an envy of the nation as that true classic public-private partnership, which evolved over decades. And it eclipsed, call it the shifting sands of ownership, the shifting sands of development, the shifting sands of new jurisdictions, and the shifting sands of political elected officials. It took all these people to eclipse the things that many times derail accomplishments. And then, of course, let's not forget, we had to work with the behemoths, Colorado Department of Transportation and the Regional Transportation District. So these are the things, when you look back and think about it, it really excites you and warms your heart about what can get accomplished with people. But one of the other special, unique things done out here is a group of us got together many, many years ago, and we said, it is really tough to always go out and have to raise money to fund an organization, as well as raise money for all these improvements. So we went down to the state legislature and created a very unique funding system that I quite honestly think is unlike anywhere else in the entire country. But it is that's been added to the people that helped us accomplish all the things that we have. Those physical improvements as well as the mobility improvements. Bottom line, you've got physical infrastructure and you have people infrastructure. We had the people that did the work. Now we have the extensive physical infrastructure that I've talked about. Infrastructure is multifaceted, which includes creating a place where people can live, work, play, recreate, shop, all within a reasonably small geographic area, enhancing that really needed work-life balance. So what we've tried to create out here is putting all those things together in one piece with the mobility that we believe enhances the place where people want to live and enhances and improves that work-life balance that is so tough for everybody to try and sort through today. But this has all evolved from the people, starting with persons like my father, Walt Koelbel, George Wallace, who were buying land from farmers. And what is now, think about this, farmers were here buying land from farmers to what is now the largest single business center in the entire state. Now, if that's not an accomplishment, I don't know what is. These accomplishments that we started and all these visionaries started and all the people started many years ago is smart growth long before the term smart growth was even known. But we were doing smart growth and it maybe helped create what that term means today. So continuing our brand now at Denver South, we still have the people. We have all those physical improvements that we put in. So the next component of this is mobility is still an issue, but the world of technology has changed. We have to find ways to utilize technology now to enhance the physical improvements and enhance mobility. And so that's the next round in the future of what we're doing here at Denver South, is utilizing what everybody is ubiquitous today, and that's all the new technologies. We have to figure out, and we're going to, how we use that here to improve the mobility, which further improves the place we've created here at Denver South.